A brief, terrifying silence followed. Then, the final, stuttering transmission. "I die." In June 1947, these frantic Morse codes cut through the static across the Straits of Malacca. When the rescue ship, the Silver Star, finally pulled alongside the Dutch freighter, they found a vessel drifting aimlessly, as silent as a grave. There was no smoke, no scars of battle, and no sound of life. But when the boarding party stepped onto the deck, they walked into a gallery of nightmare. The deck was littered with bodies, but they didn't just die, they were frozen in a state of absolute terror. Their teeth were bared, eyes wide open, staring at the blazing sun with a profound expression of agony that seemed to transcend human understanding. Even the ship's dog was found stiff, frozen in a silent snarl at an invisible enemy. The investigation turned even darker when they reached the boiler room. Despite the sweltering heat of the tropical sun outside, the air below deck was freezing. Yet, when the rescuers touched the steel bulkheads, they were searing hot to the touch. It was a contradiction of physics. In the shadows of the cargo hold, they noticed a strange, faint odor, something metallic, something that smelled of bitter almonds and forgotten secrets. Was it the cargo, or was the ship itself exhaling the breath of the abyss? It was something that defied the laws of physics. Despite the blistering 100-degree tropical heat, the boarding party felt a bone-chilling cold emanating from the ship's depths. This is the story of the SS Ourang Medan, a ghost ship carrying a secret never meant to be found. Why did an entire crew die of fright? And why, just as the truth was within reach, did the ship vanish forever? To truly understand the fate of the SS Ourang Medan, we must look beyond the ghost story and into the cold, hard reality of 1947. This wasn't just a year, it was a geopolitical void. World War II had officially ended 2 years prior, but in Southeast Asia, the echoes of gunfire had not yet faded. The shadows left behind by the Japanese occupation and the crumbling European empires were long, dark, and filled with secrets. The geopolitics of a broken empire. In 1947, the Strait of Malacca, the narrow 500-mile stretch of water between the Malay Peninsula and the island of Sumatra, was the most vital yet most unstable choke point on the planet. For centuries, it had been the gateway between the East and the West. But after the Japanese surrender in 1945, the power vacuum was immense. The British were struggling to regain control of Malaya, while the Dutch were embroiled in a bloody war of independence in Indonesia. This chaos created a gray zone. When there is no clear law on the water belongs to the shadows. The strait became a highway for ghost ships, vessels with no flags, carrying cargoes that didn't exist on any manifest. The silent cargoes, leftovers of Unit 731. During the war, the Japanese Imperial Army had turned Southeast Asia into a laboratory. We now know of the infamous Unit 731, a covert biological and chemical warfare research unit. When the war ended, thousands of tons of deadly agents, nerve gas, cyanide, and biological pathogens needed to be moved or disposed of. Military tactics at the time were brutal and simple. If you have something too dangerous to keep and too illegal to show, you bury it at sea or move it through untracked channels. In 1947, the US and its allies were secretly racing to secure this Japanese technology before it fell into Soviet hands. It is highly probable that the Ourang Medan was part of this silent pipeline, a ship hired to move a cargo so toxic that even its name had to be scrubbed from the shipping record. Pirates and paramilitaries. But the danger didn't just come from the cargo hold. The Strait of Malacca in the late 1940s was infested with modern piracy. These weren't pirates of old. These were former guerrilla fighters and deserters armed with leftover military-grade weapons. They operated out of the thousands of tiny, unmapped islands in the Riau archipelago. Influence over these waters was a deadly game. Navies from Britain, the Netherlands, and the emerging United States were all patrolling, but they were spread thin. It was a place where a ship could be boarded, its crew executed, and its cargo stolen without a single distress signal ever being heard. In this environment, every radar blip was a threat, and every passing ship was a potential predator. The mysticism of the Black Water. Beyond the politics and the pirates, there is the water itself. To the local sailors of Sumatra and Malaya, the strait has always been a place of profound supernatural dread. They spoke of the Laut Heatum, the Black Water, where the spirits of those lost at sea during the brutal war still lingered. The currents in the strait are notoriously treacherous, with sudden Sumatra squalls that can blind a captain in seconds. But more than the weather, there were tales of sea mists that could induce hallucinations, a phenomenon some attributed to volcanic gases from the nearby Ring of Fire, and others to the restless souls of the thousands who died in the sunken warships that litter the seafloor. In 1518, it was a dancing plague in a town square. In 1947, it was a silent plague on a steel freighter. Whether it was the result of a chemical leak or a psychological break caused by the sheer terror of these lawless waters, the Ourang Medan was sailing through a world that was literally falling apart. It was a time when the laws of physics felt as fragile as the peace itself. Ships were moving through a landscape of ghost empires, carrying the seeds of the next war in their bellies. When the Ourang Medan sent its final SOS, it wasn't just calling for help. It was screaming a warning from the darkest corner of a world that was trying to forget its own sins. The non-existent ship. If you look for the SS Ourang Medan in the Lloyd's shipping register, the world's most complete record of sea vessels, you will find nothing. It's as if the ship never existed on paper. Yet the paper trail exists elsewhere. From classified CIA files to letters written by the assistant to the President of the United States in 1954, the name Ourang Medan appears like a ghost in the machine. The most dangerous things in history are often the ones left out of the official registers. It was a vessel designed to be erased, a ghost used by powers that required its absolute anonymity. The Silver Star found a floating tomb. As they moved through the corridors, they encountered a massacre without weapons. There were no gunshot wounds, no stabbings, and no signs of a struggle. Only the frozen scream on every face they found, from the captain on the bridge to the cabin boy in the engine room. Just as they began to tow the ship, a mysterious fire erupted in the cargo hold. The Silver Star crew barely escaped before a massive explosion ripped the vessel apart. The Ourang Medan sank in minutes, taking its secrets to the dark abyss of the sea. The theory of the invisible killer. So, what killed them? The chemical theory. Many believe the ship was carrying potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin. If seawater leaked in, it created a toxic cloud, suffocating the crew instantly and leaving them frozen in their final gasp for air. The Unit 731 link. Some suggest a leak of a nerve agent being secretly transported to the US, a silent, invisible death that explains the total loss of every living soul on board. The explosion wasn't an accident. It was the final cleanup. Someone wanted the Ourang Medan to remain a myth. The Ourang Medan is more than a ghost story. It is a mirror reflecting our society today. Think about the invisible cargo. The crew transported death without even knowing it. The digital toxicity. In our modern world, we are all sailors on a digital freighter. We consume toxic cargo every day, information and algorithms we don't fully understand. We live in a state of digital panic, paralyzed by a world that demands our attention while judging our every move. We see it in the rise of deepfakes and the manipulation of reality. We are staring at our screens with wide eyes, just like the Frozen crew, unable to distinguish what is real from what is carefully constructed to deceive us. We live in a time of post-truth, where if a mistake is big enough, it isn't fixed, it is deleted. As the saying goes, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it echoes. The silence of the Ourang Medan is echoing now, in a world where truth is often buried beneath the waves of convenience and power. The SS Ourang Medan is gone. Its name is a ghost. Its crew is a memory of terror. But its lesson remains. What we choose to ignore can be the very thing that destroys us. Whether it's chemical gas in 1947 or the poison of misinformation in 2026, the danger is in the silence. Before you go, look at the cargo you are carrying in your mind today. Is it something that brings you life, or is it a poison making you stare at the world with eyes full of fear? If your ship started to sink today, would the world even know you were there? Or would you just be another ghost in a record that was never meant to be written? If you found yourself captivated by this echo of the past, join us as we continue to uncover the hidden rhythms of our world. Subscribe to the Myth Echoes and hit the bell icon to ensure you never miss a heartbeat of history's greatest mysteries. Leave a comment below. Do you believe the Ourang Medan was a tragic accident or a secret that was never meant to be told? Stay aware, stay curious, and never stop questioning the rhythm of the waves. Thank you for listening to the Myth Echoes.